Charles Finney, who led the Second Great Awakening in this country in the 1800s, was preaching at a service, a revival service. And at the end of the service, he asked people to come forward to accept Christ. And there was a criminal gangster in the back. And the board came to talk to him and says, do not mess with this man. He is incredibly dangerous. And Finney said, I'm sorry, I already gave this man my word. I'm going to talk with him after the service. So this criminal led him down a dark alley into a very dark room, opened and closed the door and asked him to sit down on the desk. He said, Finney, you said God can forgive you of all your sin. Is that true, Finney? He says, it's not what I said, it's what the gospel says. He goes, just down the street, I run an undercover gambling ring, and it's fixed, and I get all the money. Can God forgive me for that, Finney? And Finney says, yes, God can forgive you for that. He goes, you know the large saloon, I own it. And we give hard drinks there. And when the mothers and children come to bring their dad, who has only a few coins in his pocket left, we kick them out. And when he has lost all his money, then we kick the father out and we laugh. And that has been our business for decades, Finney. Can God forgive me for that? Yes, he can forgive you for that. He opened the drawer of the desk, pulled out a gun, set it on the desk, and said, I've used this in many crimes. Can God forgive me for that? He says, yes, he can forgive you for that. He said, one last thing, Finney. I have one daughter, and I've never said I love you to her. She's a teenager. And in my fits of rage, I pushed her onto the stove. And she burned herself, scarred herself. Can God forgive me for that, Finney? He says, yes, sir. God can forgive you for that. Leave. He left. The next morning at the gangster's house, the mother sent the daughter upstairs to get the father. The daughter didn't come down. And the mother got very concerned. She raced up the stairs and she burst into the room, and the daughter was being held in the father's arms. And the mother says, what's wrong with you? What's happened to you? And listen to these words. He said in a sweet tone, yesterday I heard the greatest thing I ever heard, and it's true. If we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. And know what Finney said? He became the greatest citizen of that town.